What is up, boys? JO3 here, back with another video. This one's a bit more closer to home, I'm not gonna lie, because this is talking about one of my favorite, if not my favorite, YouTuber right now. And sort of like where he's been. He did it himself. I urge you to go watch his, video on it himself, because I'm gonna be cutting a lot out. We're just gonna be talking about a few parts about it. And let's just get into it.
So, I usually clickbait these titles and these thumbnails, so I imagine most people are clicking into this video thinking I'm joking and this is about to be some elaborate scheme. But it's not. I have not enjoyed making videos on YouTube for a while.
So Jschlatt starts off the video by explaining the title wasn't actually clickbait, and he's not been enjoying content for a while. And I think we can all sort of, agree with that for a little bit. It seems like it, considering he hasn't uploaded in 2 months, and the videos were relatively short and, pretty basic. But they're still funny because of Jschlatt. But, that's not the only reason, he's been gone. He moves on to explain his sort of living situation, so we'll get into that at the next clip.
I just haven't had the best luck recently. I got kicked out of my house because the landlord sold it somehow. God knows who the fuck he sold it to. I mean, every room in that house needed fumigation. They needed to be thoroughly cleaned before that house was in any state to be sold. I don't know how they did it, but he did.
So he goes on to explain that pretty much his landlord somehow sold his home without like the buyer coming to look or like notifying him till after, I guess. And it was in pretty bad shape. I don't really know the whole like situation there, obviously, so I'm not gonna pretend that I do. But that just seems kind of like a toxic thing. So pretty much he's been living with friends or renting apartments and can't get furniture because they're out of wood. There's a wood shortage, so it's taking months. So he's not in the greatest spot housing wise, and that sucks. Obviously, I've had to cut out a lot because the clips get a little long in copyright purposes. But next, he goes to talk about Jambo. Jambo was sick. We'll roll that clip right now.
So I get back home after a long day of working at the office now, because I live in an apartment, I work at an office. And this guy Jambo, this fucker Jambo, where are you? Come on, show your dirty little face. This fucker Jambo's moseying around. He's fucking walking all around like he owns the place. And the dude wasn't acting like anything was wrong, but I just know based on how fucking stupid this cat is, that he ate the magnets.
So Jambo ate 10 magnets and had to have expensive surgery to remove them, but luckily Jambo seems to be doing better, which is always good. Skipping a little bit though, he goes to talk about like a CS project that his friend and him were gonna work on. Basically, the idea is it would take pictures of Jambo when he was in frame, but it couldn't be finished because obviously Jambo had to be in a cage for the whole week they had planned on doing it because he was, pretty much under the 24/7 care of Jschlatt. But it gets worse, unfortunately.
And the week before that, I was supposed to go to Prague in the Czech Republic to see a monkey, a statue of a monkey with just the most fantastic pair of nuts on him. I spent like $10,000 trying to make that trip happen, to get a bunch of friends out there to see this thing, and that got United Airlines fucked us over in classic American airline fashion, and that didn't work out, right?
So the trip Jschlatt had planned didn't go through, and $10,000 basically down the drain, which to me and you is a huge amount of money, huge. And I'm sure it's still a decent amount of money just to be wasted for Jschlatt, but it still gets worse before it gets better. This is the tough part, really, for even anyone watching, I would say. So let's just roll the clip.
After bad luck, after more bad luck, and while I'm watching my cat, while I have to take 24/7 care of the fucking thing, basically, my grandma dies.
So I'm gonna be up front here. I didn't want to script anything out here because this is like a very serious sort of thing to talk about. Jschlatt's grandmother had unfortunately passed away, and I'm gonna keep it short because it's not my place to speak on anything like this. I'm just gonna say my condolences and to rest in peace. May she rest in peace, Jschlatt. If you ever see this, it's a tough part. We're just gonna move on because I feel weird talking about it, and we'll just roll to a slightly nicer clip.
But it wasn't all bad because I got to, I got to go home. I spent some time with my family. I saw my room for the first time in like a year because, this has been, I really did just pick up shop and move across the country because, I mean, surprisingly, there's no one in New York who does this job. Basically, that I left behind that became fan favorites of this channel and of Jschlatt, basically, back when I was, enjoying what I was doing.
So Jschlatt got to go home and visit family, which is always a great thing. It's nice to see, and also got to see many like the treasures of his time on YouTube, like his play buttons and a couple other like memorabilia items from his previous content. And he got to remember when he enjoyed making videos, which is something that can resonate with any like creator. It doesn't have to be YouTube, because we've all gone through those points where we don't enjoy making content. It happens, but I'm happy Jschlatt got to remember some good times and get some happiness after having a lot of just down moments his last couple of months. So let's just keep moving forward here towards the end of the video. We're going to skip forward a little bit because there's a bit more I want to talk about, then we'll wrap this up.
I want to make shows. Like, I want to do stuff with people. This is a set. I'm sure you've noticed this is because my room has just been empty, but this is new. This is a set that I made, and this is for a show that I'm making and producing and doing this is what I want to fucking do, And another thing that I want to do, and this is going to sound really fucking weird to most people because I've never talked about this on this channel. It's just spread through word of mouth and algorithm, I guess. But
so Jschlatt goes on to talk about how he wants to actually make like shows, I guess, and he has that like set behind him. That is a set, and later in the video I'm probably going to end up cutting it out just for time. He goes on to say that where his PC is now is actually going to be another set, and he's moving his PC into a different room, which is interesting. I'm interested to see it. But there's one more thing I want to touch on, obviously, before we end this off, which is the portion about the weekly slap.
This is the plaque. This is the YouTube plaque for the channel that means the most to me and has consistently been, the most rewarding and the most fun and fulfilling project I've ever done on YouTube. And I'm sure you guys know of CNanners and Woody's Gamertag and all those guys that I come home every day and I listen to them talk about ideas, just random ideas that they're thinking about, just like thought-provoking shit. They're giving life advice and that kind of stuff. All the while, they're just playing Call of Duty and murdering hundreds of people in an online lobby with a machine gun. Like, that juxtaposition was just so funny to me and so special to me. And this channel that I do, the Weekly Slap, is just it's like almost like a faithful continuation of that.
So Jschlatt, basically, the Weekly Slap, and it's a spiritual successor to like Commentary, Modern Warfare, sort of Call of Duty YouTubers of the past that basically just talked about stuff. And it really is. Obviously, the Weekly Slap is a big thing for a lot of people. I didn't get really into it because I didn't really get into Jschlatt's content until about late 2019, early 2020, which is a bad time to do it considering it was ending the next year. But it's fine. It didn't really get as many uploads as very quickly as time went on, but it's alright. The Weekly Slap is still a great thing, and I hope he continues, and it sounds like he will. So now we're pretty much done with all I need to talk about from this video. It looks like Jschlatt's continuing to do great things. That's the plan, and I'm happy to be watching that. So if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'm going to let Jschlatt do a bit of an outro because he's my favorite YouTuber, and if I'm going to talk about his video, he deserves to be the guy to do the goddamn outro.
I'm actually going to be moving to a place that I hope, I'm confident that I'll be able to call home. And things are good. Like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel is what I'm trying to say, I guess. And so, yeah, I have thought about throwing in the towel and retiring and quitting and what that would look like. But right now, I've got enough stuff in the pipeline that I'm pumped about that makes me want to give this thing another shot. And that's what I'm going to do.